another episode of Thrive Talks, and we have here with us today Shruthi Shankar Kumar, who is a yoga instructor and a performing singer as well. And we've been talking a lot about her yoga journey and her journey as a yoga instructor and her work in terms of breath work, yoga asanas, pranayama, and how it actually helps athletes as well. But now we're going to talk about something different. We're going to talk about her singing journey as a singer and as a yoga instructor, both ways. How are things and how does the voice get impacted by breath works, etc., etc. That's what we're going to do today. And it's a very interesting thing because again, not many people talk about this, although it's very much interlinked, right? As a singer, what happens in your body before a performance?
So, of course, this is a very individual experience that happens for every artist. So, for me, I was someone who, for good reason, didn't have stage fright. I don't know why I didn't have it, but
that's a good thing.
I just ended up not having
I
stage
think that's
fright.
because you practice yoga.
I would probably attribute some of it to yoga, but yes. So, I don't have this tension or nervousness before a concert. Of course, sometimes you will have a little bit of nervousness depending on like where you are performing and how critical the audience is going to be and all those things.
Yeah.
But otherwise, generally, I am in a fairly good state of mind.
I've seen
before a
some
concert.
of your kacheris, and it's just that you're in a very calm state no matter what.
Yeah.
In fact, you're smiling and having fun more than anything, right?
Yes. So, what was the question again? Sorry.
Do you see... No, but what happens in your body before a competition?
For a concert.
Yeah, for a concert.
So
competition, no, performance, yeah.
Yeah. So, in my mind, I'm kind of just... It's actually a little bit chaotic before a performance because, say, I have to perform like 8 or 10 songs. So it's basically just a
lot of
chutney of everything that's what I'm going to sing. Everything is just interlinked and it's like running around in my mind.
Yeah.
So the mind is a bit chaotic before, but I think it's a good chaotic. I don't know in the athletic context how that relates, but for me it's a little bit of like just a mix of lot of things going on in the mind as to what I'm going to perform at that time.
Correct.
But I think that is needed because that helps to keep the energy before a performance.
I love what you're saying because this is something that even athletes face, and it's nice to know that someone as calm as you are, who does not really have performance anxiety or stage fright for that matter, does have multiple things going on in your mind, and does not necessarily mean it's anxiety in that way, right?
True.
It can simply be, or it probably is just a tinge of nervousness, and it need not really be anxiety, and it could be a good thing.
Yes.
Because you have to, of course, there are like some 10,000 words that you might have to remember, and that's a good thing to have, which I think athletes, it would be more in terms of, okay, let me have my posture right, let me get my skills right, let me get my technique right, all of that, right? So yeah, I think this has added a lot of value, and I think this gives a lot of reassurance for our athletes as well to know that there might be chaos in
the mind, yes.
And the chaos need not always be a bad thing.
Yes.
It could be
a good chaos.
Well. Yeah, it could be a good chaos as well. So yeah, I think that's a great thing. Do you see parallels between stage fright or anxiety and competitive anxiety?
I would say there are parallels to a certain extent. So the main difference between like a stage performance versus a sporting event, I think the stage performance, of course, once you cross the stage of like music competitions or dance competitions, I'm not talking about that, but more from a performative aspect, you are not competing against anybody in a concert, right? So you are trying to put out best what you know at that point of time. You are trying to perform, and I would say, like, for me at least, the competition is myself. I want to perform better than I did in the previous concert, or the last time that I sang in the same venue. I want to be better than what I did the previous concert. I want to do this concert better. So there's a lot of competition that's going on inside the artist's head at that point of time. Whereas, like, of course, in a sports context, you are competing against somebody, but I think like overall the mind state is kind of similar because you want to perform your best,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's what you want to
Yeah.
that's the result that you're aiming for at the
Yeah.
end of the event or the end of the your performance. Your goal or your objective at that point of time is just to do your best.
Yeah.
I think that's the
That's the
main parallel
that's
that
the
you
main
can
there.
get between
Yeah.
these two.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. How do you think voice can reveal emotional holding? Okay, first of all, do you think it actually does reveal?
Very very emphatic yes. So I think so I mean it's again this draws back to what we spoke in the beginning with breath. The voice is also a very good indicator actually of your mind state at a point of time, because I also work closely with a voice therapist, and I understood so much more about the voice and how both physical as well as mental stressors can affect the voice a lot.
Absolutely.
I think for someone who is not a musician, it doesn't matter that much. But being a singer myself, like I started looking into it a lot more deeply than what someone who's not a musician would. I mean, which is obvious, right? The way I analyze it will be quite different. So I mean, what do you do when you are upset and you're about to cry? What happens? Fast. You start choking first. Yes, your throat becomes really tight and you can't get out the words that you want to. So of course, like the voice does definitely, it is a great indicator of your mind state, and it's one of the things that really gets affected very fast when you're either stressed physically or mentally. So yes, it is definitely a huge indicator, and I think like the breath, maybe I don't think this has come out yet as a very talked about topic in terms of how we can use the voice as a tool to understand our mental state, but maybe something in future could come up where like how we use breath, we can also use the voice.
I think this is something I've kind of studied about a little bit, especially from a therapy perspective, because voice matters there. And you're right, like, you know, how fast we talk, how slow we talk.
Yes.
And because at the end of the day, how you talk is also you exhaling and inhaling unconsciously, right? And I think that definitely does make a big difference. And maybe in a team setting rather than an individual setting, it might help.
True.
From a very talking angle or a voice. Again, maybe not even voice, because that's something people may not even realize, but from a very talking perspective, they could probably realize, yeah, definitely. I think that makes a big difference, right? How do you think sound can help athletes release internal tension?
Yes, so again, this I would also like to tie this up with little bit of meditation, a little bit of chanting that we can, you know, incorporate. More than the music part of it, like how you say, you use the word sound, which is very nice, like rather than saying, because everyone may not want to be a singer, or they would like to just be a bathroom singer, right? So
they get anxious when we use, you know, music therapy or like even dance therapy, right?
Yes. Yeah. So everyone may not be very comfortable with the idea of, you know, having to sing in front of a group of people or dance, as you said, in front of random group of people. So yeah, like in that way, sound is a wonderful way to really again anchor the mind into something specific. So like how we use the breath to, you know, focus and to anchor the mind for a short period of time. I think sound is also a great way we can do that. And we in fact have pranayama varieties where we use sound also. Like there is a type of pranayama called Brahmari where you make a particular kind of sound and you try to extend that, and that really actually helps to, you know, relax even the muscles of the face. You know, sometimes we tighten everything here without realizing it, like jaw is tight, eyebrows are tight, like you know, even for all those, like when we use this sound, it can help to relax a lot better.
More, absolutely. Lovely. This is something I've been hoping to talk, you know, to with someone. And I'm so glad we could actually speak about it, because it's very niche, right? Performance, breath and sound together, and it's very interrelated as well.
Yes. In fact, even when we use sound as a tool of meditation or as a tool to focus, like there are so many new types of meditation which have come up. Like for example, chakra meditation,
Yeah.
where there is a sound that is associated to each of the chakras. Again, it's a very abstract concept, but we can take the idea.
Yeah.
Like everyone may not understand, where the position of the chakra,
Chakras
like, you
is,
can't
yeah.
visualize it, right?
Yeah.
But you can take what it has to offer
Correct.
and incorporate it in a way
As
that
much as
is
possible.
suiting you
Yeah.
best. A simple om chanting, and just trying to, like, when you're chanting just an om and
Yeah.
your voice is wavering, again, that's an indicator.
Correct.
What's
Correct.
happening? Like, why is my voice wavering at that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I have something? I'm not focusing fully on the
Yeah.
sound at that point of time. But when you have that steady hold, even if it's just for 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever. But if you have that steady hold, it is a better indicator of what is going on in your mind at that
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
And it's also a nice way to bring focus
Yeah. Yeah.
to the sound. Like how you focus on the breath, a sound is a much easier tool to actually focus on, because the breath is again something very subtle, but the sound is something you can hear.
Yeah.
You hear it and you focus on it. It's
Yeah.
a great way to anchor, even for
Absolutely.
someone who wants to start meditating.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you so much for talking about this. We are going to definitely talk about stillness, creativity, and how that impacts high performance in our next episode. Thank you so much for listening.